So what are we going to do?
G, F, and D. C, F, and G7.
Okay, let's do it. Hey there, everyone, and welcome to the Ukestuff channel, and welcome to our annual holiday gift guide. I am Chris Russell, and this is my son, Luke. He's here with me. He's very excited to be here.
I was in the last one.
He was in the last one last year and the year before that, too.
Yeah.
So he's 8 now, and we're going to talk about some different gifts that you might want to give someone.
Sure, take that.
You can just stay right there. Move in, because you got to be in the picture.
Okay.
You like that? So one of the things I want to tell you is that many of the items here are available if you'd like to from the Amazon store connected with this channel. So you could go to amazon.com/shops/ukeplaylongs. I'll put that title up here. And the other thing I want to mention, my wife gave me a ukulele t-shirt that came in the mail just yesterday. It was ordered well before November when my birthday is, and it showed up in December. So here is what it says.
Things I do in my spare time. Play ukulele, look at ukuleles, research ukuleles, talk about ukuleles, watch someone play ukuleles, and think about ukuleles.
So what did you say about that shirt yesterday?
I said, well, I don't remember, but I said I was laughing at it, kind of.
He actually said right away, he said, that's exactly what you do, is what he actually
Oh,
said.
yeah, I remember that.
Okay. So we're going to talk about some gifts that you can give someone that is an ukulele player or someone that wants to play ukulele, and we're going to go through some things. So first of all, we'll talk about some
strings.
Okay. Now, strings are really subjective. You got to be careful. I'll give you a couple of things that I like, but that doesn't mean that somebody else will like them. My number one go-to are Martin strings.
Yeah, he likes those.
The M600s or the M620s, and you can get them a number of places. My go-to for like general strings like this is stringsbymail.com. So generally $6 a pack or so. So that's that. Living Waters are more expensive. They come straight from the UK by Ken Middleton, the famous ukulele player and teacher. Between 8 pounds and 10.5 pounds if you want to get those. So, and there is, of course, shipping charges. They're not really bad, but shipping is a little bit slower in these times. A newer brand of fluorocarbons, these are all fluorocarbons for me, Logic strings that are made by Joel, who works at the ukulele site. And he sells these separately. I buy these off of Etsy, and they're between $11 and $12.50. What are you doing? All right. And then finally, available in a number of places. Again, I get them from Strings by Mail, are Worth strings. I like the clears, but a lot of people like the browns. So those are strings that you can get. I would always check with the ukulele player before you buy strings, so you buy something that they like, but those are some ideas. Now, let's talk about some tools. So the first one is the
octopus.
Yeah, this is one that I talk about every year.
Yeah, I had this last year, so basically, I can't explain it. I'll just let you explain.
All right, so the Music Nomad octopus, it's an 8-in-1 tool, so you get the Phillips head, you get the flathead screwdriver on it, and you have a hex key there, as well as different settings of hex keys there. So
and it is $14.
Okay, it's $14. I generally just get these from Amazon, but they're very, very useful, so you don't have to keep a whole bunch of tools around, and it's easy to tighten loose screws or even like tuning gears on ukuleles with this. So this has been a very, very good thing.
And now we also have the Daddio string winder with slippers. Yeah.
So it's the Daddario string winder, and it has the clippers on the end. So when you're changing strings, if you are like myself and have a large collection of ukuleles, or a teacher and have a whole bunch, that isn't necessarily very beneficial. But in this case, it really is. So if you have like 1 or 2 ukuleles, and how much do these sell for generally?
They sell for $11.
All right, I'll give you that back. And if you have wooden fretboards, another great product to get is
the oils. That's called F1 oil.
Yeah, the F1 by Music Nomad is a fretboard oil, and they claim that it can be used on any fretboard. So, like, for example, if you have a maple fretboard, not that common with ukulele, you can use it without worrying about making it darker. However, the other standby for oil is
Durlope 65.
okay, Dunlop 65 oils, yes. And this is just their lemon fretboard oil. Now, how much do these cost?
They cost $3 per each can.
Well, these are $3.50. The Music Nomad is a little more expensive at about $8.50 for a container. So they will last you a long time. This one has been used a lot, and it still has more than 3/4 of the bottle left.
Now we have the sanding sponge, which you can sand your ukuleles anywhere you go.
Yeah, so the sanding sponge basically is for your fretboard. If you get sharp fret ends and you don't have a very expensive ukulele and you just want to take care of it quickly, you can put some masking tape on the body, but then you can just sand at an angle, sharp fret ends. Now again, you need a wooden fretboard. If you have a plastic fretboard, please don't use that, but ultimately it can really make your frets smooth again very quickly. There are other tools for this, but they're much more expensive, and these cost
They cost. Oh, let me think. $3.50.
yeah, the one listed on Amazon is $3.50. You can get them at your local hardware store or large brand hardware store like a Home Depot, Menards, Lowe's. They'll carry them too. Drywall sanding sponge, fine and medium grit is probably just fine for what you need.
But here's a bonus. That's really bad. If you have a plastic fretboard and you sand it, it'll totally probably get wrecked.
So don't do that. All right, now talking about a couple of humidifiers. If you live in a climate where the relative humidity in your house where you store your ukuleles is under 40%, you need to be humidifying your ukulele with distilled water in a humidifier. So here's a couple ideas for you. So the first is the Oasis humidifier. This is the OH-18. They sell for about $20. What they do is they go inside your sound hole after you fill them up. There's a little syringe that you get. There are little gel crystals in here. You fill up the humidifier with distilled water with that little syringe, and you put this inside the sound hole. They clip on the strings, and you leave it there until it's all shriveled up, and then you take off the cap and fill it up again and repeat, and that's the Oasis.
And this is how it works. So you open it up, put the ukulele beads in there, and then it absorbs all the water once you put it in. And then in the winter, they get bigger, so then it humidifies your ukulele inside so it doesn't get bad.
Now, the other humidifier I wanted to show you is the Music Nomad humidifier. They look like this, and they have a little sponge in them. It's hard right now, but if you soak it in distilled water, it'll absorb the water. Then you close the lid, put the humidifier in between your strings on your ukulele, put it in its case or its bag, and you let it do its trick, and it will help keep your ukulele humidified. The humidifier does not last as long as the Oasis, though, so you'll have to refill it more frequently.
And this works the same as the Oasis, but it's a little different. It just comes out like that.
I'm going to show you one of the other kind of useful tools that I have around here. We're using it right now, actually, on the ring light that we're using. But this is a product made by Ortega. Ortega is one of the ukulele companies.
I've had a few experiences with it. It holds your ukulele on like something like a bar like this.
Yeah, it holds it on like a music stand, or we'll hold it on a ring light, or it will hold it on just the normal like camera mounts, that sort of deal. But it's a clamp, and so these things are great. They're $20 well spent. I love it because I use an iPad when I'm at a gig. Of course, there hasn't been many gigs this year, or even ukulele club environments. But if I'm using my iPad on its sort of foldable mic mount, I can mount this on there. So I've got my iPad and my ukulele hanging in front of me. So this is a really nice tool for $20. Definitely recommended. Now let's talk about some ukulele straps. Ukulele straps really can help you play. You've got to have strap buttons installed on your ukulele, though. However, on these first couple, we're going to show you some flight straps. And these flight straps go right now anywhere between $10 and $20. And they're about 1.5 inches wide. They're a little wider than I normally like. And with these, they also come with a headstock strap that you can put underneath your strings on the headstock and strap it there if you don't have a second strap button. So you have a strap button on the bottom, but you don't necessarily need one on the top, but these are kind of nice. So these are a couple of the designs that Flight offers for those. And the prices, again, vary a little bit on Amazon right now, but those are some flight straps.
And these are what strap buttons are. This and this. They go on below your ukulele.
Now, for the record, both these strap buttons were not installed on this one when I bought this one. Those I put on. Flight doesn't put a top button on, but they do put one on the bottom now of their instruments.
These travel ukuleles usually come with strap buttons already installed.
All right, so those are some flight straps. Now let me show you a couple other straps from a couple other companies that I like. The first one is a place called Uke Straps, and that company is originally on Facebook. You can find them on Facebook. They also have a web page, but they're 1-inch straps, which I really like. They're made here in the United States, and there's a whole bunch of different styles. This is one of their Christmas straps, so I think it has Santa and Mrs. Claus on there.
I can't see the Mrs. Claus.
Oh, is it just Santa on there?
Yeah, it's Santa.
Yeah, so it's just Santa. And again, leather ends and plastic hardware, which is really nice. So those sell for about $20.
And it also has that type of superhero. This one is a different one, and it also has that superhero type of sin, like the time travel sin.
Yeah, so this strap is another company I like to talk about. I love these leather ends, but you do need to put a little extra rubber grommet on the end if you use these, because an ukulele can slip up pretty easily. But still, it's really nice leather. This is made from a company called Straps for Chords in the UK. And their straps are, let's see, they're about 10 pounds. But then you'll have to pay shipping and weight for the shipping from the UK. So it probably would not make it in time. This is the TARDIS strap. She had some TARDIS material, and that's something from Doctor Who. It's Doctor Who's spaceship, basically. So she had some TARDIS material, and I asked her if she had any Doctor Who straps, and she's able to make me that one, and she will do that on occasion. Now, let's talk about some ukuleles you could buy for a beginner. There are a ton of really good ukuleles out there for beginners, and with all sincerity, many of them that you could just pick from Amazon almost at will and come up with a good ukulele these days. The quality control is just getting so much better. But with that in mind, there are a couple ukuleles that I thought I would point out today. And the first would be a couple ukuleles from Flight. So one of the great ones that I like is the Flight Travel Series. There's a whole lot to be said about these instruments. They're really well received. But some of the benefits, first of all, is it's all plastic except for the soundboard and except for this little veneer plate on the headstock. So that means that for a beginner or somebody that's using them as a travel ukulele, you don't have to worry too much about these. Now, I wouldn't put them in a super, super, super hot car because then they could melt and warp. But beyond that, they're going to be super rugged. Great for schools, but great for beginners. So with that in mind, I would really strongly suggest these. You'll never get a sharp fret end, and the action on these is generally really, really, really good. What was that all about?
I was playing the ukulele.
Okay, all right. So I'm watching his facial expressions as he's making weird faces at you.
Because this one is loud, it's just like...
Yeah, they're very loud and punchy because of that solid wood fretboard. And they're very clear and a great value. So generally you can find the Sopranos, like this one, for about $50. This is the long neck version. So if I go down, you'll see that the long neck version, actually, if the bodies are held even, the long neck is longer. It is a concert neck. They call it the concert neck. People are confused by this model, which is confusing to me because long neck sopranos are not a surprise. It gives you the sound of a soprano with a little bit extra space of a concert, even sometimes a little extra string tension. Both of these are not running the stock strings. Both of these are running fluorocarbons. I think the Martin M600 strings on both of these. So I like these a lot. These end up being starting around $55, although they do go up for some of the signature models. So we like these a lot, and they're great for travel, great for beginners. And if a beginner buys one of the best things about this is that they'll never outgrow it because they can travel with it. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say is the neck has a pretty decent profile. It's kind of nice and flat. It has sort of a wooden texture in the plastic, so it doesn't feel cheap or slippery. And then, of course, it does have a rounded back, which helps with that sound. So, again, the Flight Travel Ukes are really nice, add up from $50 on up, depending on what model you want. They also have a concert version coming very soon. And the
And-
final, oh, sorry, go ahead.
It's, if you guys didn't know, it's $50 to $55 or more.
All right. And the final ukulele I just want to talk about today is another one of my favorites,
It's
which...
the and you never many.
Okay, it's the Nova Mini Ukulele, and these are selling right now for $60. There's a concert version that sells between $80 and $90, and they're also some of my favorite ukuleles in the context of beginners and travel. They're thin line, very thin, and they have a decent sound. I like them. I like the sound a lot.
I'm not sure if you mentioned it, but there's also soprano coming out.
Yeah, this is actually the soprano that's out of this one.
Yeah,
So
and it's also $59 to $89.
yeah, so the soprano version is $60, and the larger version is $80 or $90, depending on what you want. So that's the Nova. This is their mini. I also have the concert here, but I didn't bring them both over here, and just wanted to introduce those to those instruments. And quite honestly, that's our list. A lot of them are things that have shown up before on this channel, but that's okay, because if something is worth buying, it's worth using, it's worth recommending it year after year to people because it's still good. What are you doing now?
I don't know.
All right. I think he's getting bored, so it's probably time to end this video. So thank you so much for watching the video.
And always like and subscribe.
Yeah, I don't really ever say that too much, but yeah, that's something that it'd be nice if you did.
And buy our ukuleles.
No, we don't sell any ukuleles.
Oh, yeah.
So, with all seriousness, though, if you want to make a contribution to this work, you can always do so at buymeacoffee.com/ukestuff. And, again, you can check out the store. I don't really talk about that much either, but all these things are there if you want an easy place to find them at amazon.com/shop/ukeplayalongs. All right. A very Merry Christmas to you and your family, and we'll be back soon with some more Uke stuff.
And next year we'll be doing this again. So
All right.
stay tuned.